Hello, this is Bug News, and today we're going to talk about Nature Boy, who's currently has been arrested on some serious charges in the United States. Although Nature Boy has been arrested plenty of times before. I think previously, I guess before he was Nature Boy, he may have got arrested um, for robbery or something like that, allegedly. And then he became Nature Boy in Costa Rica and Nicaragua. And he, I guess, was run out of the country allegedly. They labeled him a national security risk, and they revoked his passport. But during this time, he had built up such a following. I mean, it just launched him into an area where I guess maybe initially he was probably just doing it organically, as far as when I mean initially YouTube or social media's presence. And then it grew, and then he got money, he got rich, and got power. So then his next arrest was in Hawaii. I think he's breaking the pandemic order of things or what they were doing, or maybe the community there didn't want that type of presence, or we don't know what was going on actually in Hawaii because we weren't in Hawaii, but we know he was in Hawaii, and then he got arrested. And then from there, I think he moved around, and then somehow, for some reason, he ended up in Georgia. I think he's from Georgia. And his latest arrest is, we say, some serious charges. Let me look them up here. Sorry. Yeah, so his latest charges are I'm sorry, I had them all here for a second. One of them is rape. I think assault is another one. This is all alleged charges too. And revenge porn. So the court. Two major charges are rape, wrongful detention, and sending revenge pornography. Those are basically his charges. So the home was raided. I guess maybe they should have warned or whatever. We don't even know if he had a grand jury hearing for this. But the interesting thing to this is, will this be the breakup of Nature Boy or Carbonation, which Carbonation, I'm sorry, which he's affiliated with. So of course, Carbonation allegedly believes in nudity, polyism, more than one wife, or more than one marriage. Let's say it that way, because I think that has more definitions these days. And then also, he believes that he is God, but he didn't make it rain when the police came. So I guess he's a false prophet in that aspect of being a God. He can be a spiritual guidance person. But at this point, the key factor is, will this break up Carbonation? Will Nature Boy be left high and dry? Because I'm pretty sure he has plenty of money, more than probably what we think he has, or that we know that he has. And but if he's the controlling person of the money, the next thing they'll probably do is, when I mean the government, is if he hasn't been keeping up with his taxes, they're gonna freeze all his assets, and then so that can force Carbonation to break up. And then you'll have these splinter groups, and then we didn't even know how many. I think a gang term, not calling them a gang, but the only reference that I can make is floaters that are associated with Carbonation that are out there. They may have gone to Costa Rica, visited, took part, or Nicaragua, and took part, and came back to their normal lives, but they were still connected to that entity, and they supported that entity. So at this point, where the power struggle began, and Nature Boy is giving phone call interviews, it seemed a lot more humbling Because I think he has been in jail before. I mean, he has been in jail before. He has served time, so he probably, had all this glorification of yourself, or people glorifying you, and then you go to jail. You're like, I ain't trying to go back here. Hell, there's 5 in here just like me, or 100, and this is where he's at now, and I'm pretty sure he's probably thinking ahead and say, well, because I'm not there, the guidance ain't there, people could splinter off and leave me behind, what have you. But the other issue is that the social media has given a cult, which cults already existed, but social media has given cults or new forms of cults the ability to grow exponentially fast worldwide. Whereas before they might have been localized, say even now, let's say in the house he had 40 people, then he got floaters, but he gave floaters of let's say 5,000, and whereas before he might only had 10 people, I don't know, it might have been 10 people in the house, maybe more, but let's say before he might have had 10 people just totally in a cult that was in a neighborhood that people was aware that they was part of a cult and stuff, and then it might have grown only to, like, say 250 in that city or that small town. So, and it couldn't grow anymore. It might have been affiliated with some other groups and stuff like that, but it didn't really grow. But with the social media and stuff, he can now, or not him per se, a person that may have a cult, and I'm not using cult in a bad term, but a person that can grow a bigger audience to their movement. And in this case, Carver Nation was a movement, and it grew a bigger audience very fast over social media, and he's profiting from it. And this is Bug News. Please like and share and subscribe. We'll try to keep you up to date on this Nature Boy situation, and thank you very much.